Yeah, absolutely. I think that he's strong in his conviction as far as he's outplayed his contract, even though he's a top 5 pick. He wants to reset the market for running backs. He believes that running backs have been disregarded, undervalued. And in the last several years, you have seen with him, Todd Gurley, and Saquon last year, as far as the Giants, if you have a featured running back, he is worth the money. He's worth that type of draft pick. But he's got the right perspective. Even Evan Smith had to go somewhere at the end of his career. A lot of players do. And now with the ever-changing, with the salary cap, with the money available. But it would be great for him if he had the brand of playing for the Ohio State and then playing for the Dallas Cowboys and called it a career. He'd make a lot of money just on those branding power of those two institutions, Ohio State being one of the most popular college football brands, and, of course, the Dallas Cowboys being one of the most popular brands in sports around the world. Of course, yes, that's what he'd like to do, but the reality is ultimately you probably have to go somewhere else. If you're going to have a long career, typically it's going to happen at the end. But right now he should want to be a Dallas Cowboy. It's great. They have a great venue to be able to play their games. They got a good young roster. They got a quarterback that really, really needs them. So the fit is more there than like any other place that I believe that he'll be able to be where we have all these throwers in the league.
And a really good young offensive line that he could grow with and play with throughout his career. You're not going to find a better, for a running back, offensive line situation and ownership situation, I would imagine, than the Dallas Cowboys, especially a running back who a couple times already has shown up in Roger Goodell's office. Jerry Jones, just these tough contract negotiations notwithstanding, goes to the wall for his players once they are in the fold. He's already shown that with Zeke, how upset he was with the league when Zeke did get suspended. The Cowboys taking no punitive action against Zeke from a team perspective once he got out of, kind of wiggled his way out of the latest fracas from this summer. So, of course, this makes sense. And the question is, how long does Zeke realistically think he's going to play? I would imagine right now they're trying to negotiate a 4-year contract extension. That would take him through his 9th NFL season. So we're talking about year 10 if he gets this contract done before he would be a free agent. And while I understand, and I remember Emmett playing those 2 years, I believe, for the Arizona Cardinals, Emmett didn't have to finish his career somewhere else. He did because he played, even by older school standards, a ridiculously long time. He was already the NFL's all-time rushing leader and then decided, I want to keep going, and more power to him for doing that. But it's not as if Emmett was forced out of Dallas early. Emmett was no longer the player he once was, but still had something left and said, if I can keep playing football, I'm going to keep playing football as long as I possibly can. So I get why Zeke would want to do this. And in this interview, well, without saying it, I think he is saying it, he's acknowledging some of the points Stephen and Jerry have made, which is there are some benefits to being a Dallas Cowboy, particularly being a lifelong Dallas Cowboy, that other franchises can't offer you. It's why Chris talks about all the time. Troy, Emmett, and Michael Irvin all still make their homes in Dallas, that the cachet of that organization and being considered a lifelong Cowboy, even if at the end of your career you catch on somewhere else. Like, nobody cares that Jerry Rice played for the Seahawks and the Raiders. Right. You think of him as a San Francisco. Nobody thinks of Cris Carter as anything other than an Eagle briefly in the beginning, but a Viking. People think of you as a Viking even though you played with Miami.
Yeah, we had a brief moment with the Dolphins with that new helmet and everything.
Right.
Someone else in my body.
It didn't work out, but nobody. And so you see, who did Hakeem Olajuwon play for? The Rockets, not the Raptors, even though technically he did. So the last couple years of career notwithstanding, I do believe Zeke wants to be a Dallas Cowboy through the prime and after the prime of his career, and I think that's what he's communicating.
Zeke knows what the Dallas Cowboys offer him as far as a home for the next couple years, but I'm sure Jerry Jones also knows what he gets from Zeke. This is, as we call him, a once-in-a-lifetime running back. I mean, one of these really, really great athletes who you know is going to deliver, who you know has been a winner for you. How much is this Jerry's pride? He knows football. You talk about how much he knows the game. He knows how much he needs him. Is there a little bit of pride that's sort of working its way in here?
Well, I think you don't become a multi-billionaire without some type of pride. But Jerry will tell you, I love the game. At the beginning of the day and the end of the game, he loves football. It's been part of his blood for a long, long time. And he feels like he understands football. But the one thing he understands is the product. And the product he's got out there on the field, he realized the best player is still in Mexico. And their chance, if they want to host the Lombardi Trophy, they have no chances without Ezekiel. Jerry knows that. He hadn't expressed that verbally, but he knows that. So I believe that a deal will get worked out because Jerry is a tough negotiator, and he's willing to stare down anyone, and that's what they're going to have, a showdown, stare down, there in Dallas.
And real quick, I want to revisit something you said yesterday. You put basically 1 week from today as the drop-dead date for this to get done for Zeke to be able to play week 1. Correct? That
yes.
If it's not done by Tuesday of the first week of the season, he wouldn't be able to play week 1. Jen and I were discussing this before the show. Can you just explain to the audience again why you think even that position of running back couldn't sign on a Thursday night and play that Sunday?
Well, from a game plan standpoint, they're putting in the game plan on Sunday. They're going to trim down their roster Sunday afternoon. I think the league mandate is that day. And then you start to get your practice squad, and you really start trying to concentrate. How can we win this first game, which happens to be a divisional game? Our defensive line is shorthanded. How can I put together a game plan for those 65 offensive plays? And you can only put in plays that the players that are there. You can't have the coaches on a Sunday say, we're getting ready to play the Giants a week from today, and let's put in 25 plays for Ezekiel Elliott. Are you crazy? You are wasting time. You have to be able to put in stuff that you know the next day, because typically you have an abbreviated off day, which is typically Tuesday. But on that first week of the season, man, that ain't no off day. Like, you going in to work on that day, and they put the game plan in, and then they reveal the whole game plan on Wednesday. You get the big days a week, big days of the work week, Wednesday and Thursday. Tidy it up on Friday, and it's 48 hours from kickoff. It's time to get ready. And if the player is not there, regardless of how much they want him and or miss him, you won't have a game plan that has the coaching staff distracted, and the team would immediately see when they installed it, wow, they were not prepared for Ezekiel not to be here.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.